And we're live. Hello and welcome to the football podcast for Tuesday, 22nd of September. I'm joined as always by certain Adam Galau to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the footballing world.
Hello, Theo. It is a pleasure to be here, and without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, in today's edition of the football podcast, we'll be covering everything from transfers to results from Premier League games.
But before we continue, if you are enjoying our content, we would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and if you could turn on the notification bell, it would be great so you know every time we post. But we continue. The Premier League results. Theo, take it away.
Yes, so in our previous podcast, we were discussing Man United versus Crystal Palace, and that was 1-0 Crystal Palace at the time. Andros Townsend with the opener. And then since then, it finished 3-1 on that Saturday tea time. And Donny van de Beek off the bench to get his first Manchester United goal on his debut. It's been a fortnight of Premier League debuts. And there's another one, Donny van de Beek. There was a double for Wilfried Zaha. One really brilliantly tucked away finish. And a penalty. Now, this is where it gets controversial. Adam, if you've seen the clip, you may have your own opinion. I don't blame you if you haven't. But if you have, a questionable handball against Lindelof, I believe. And the penalty was given. Jordan Ayew stepped up to take it. And David De Gea saved it. It was a terrible penalty. Weak casually stepped up and it was saved. But actually, what they're checking now with the new VAR guidelines is if the foot of the goalkeeper, any foot, left or right, is over the line, then it will be retaken. And that was the case with this penalty. So Wilfried Zaha, then, changing the penalty taker, he stepped up and he tucked it away. So a double for Wilfried Zaha against his former club. Adam?
Well, Theo, I did see the penalty, and it was really borderline, to be honest. If there's all these new rules that, you can't blame the referees for not knowing. Is it intentional? Is it not? That only the player can know that. Of course, there are certain instances where the hand is blatantly out and it's intentional, but more often than not, the player isn't trying to get their hand in the way. It just happens to hit a part of their body that, it's just quite unfortunate. And so that was the case with, I think, Lindelof, you're right. But I think that United, regardless of the penalty, really, really did not play well, if I'm going to be honest. They were, I think, a couple of years ago, especially during the Ferguson era, if you had this, you would think I was crazy. But frankly, I think Crystal Palace outplayed Manchester United. What do you think, Theo?
Yeah, they did. They really did. Zaha had the beating of those two center halves all game. But we will move on to Arsenal West Ham, the game at 8 o'clock on Saturday. And Arsenal struggled early on. West Ham were given early encouragement. The side that we tipped to go down as well. And they've lost. They've lost here against Arsenal. They did play well. Perhaps deserved a point, but a late goal from Eddie and Kestia separating the sides there. Now here was, and this really, this cliche is used a lot in football, but goals do change games, and here, this one does deserve to be used because at halftime between Southampton and Tottenham, it was really looking in the favor of Southampton. They were leading. Danny Ings got an early strike, and then Heung-min Son got the equalizer on the stroke of halftime, and then got another. Really impressive stuff from him, and then he actually went on to get 4. So 4 of the 5, and Harry Kane, who provided all 4 assists, got one at the death. And even Further on in the game, stoppage time, Danny Ings scoring his second goal of the game. Looking to get the Golden Boot this year. Now he missed out to Jamie Vardy. 2 on Sunday, sorry, against Tottenham. Again, and the penalty, also controversial with Doherty conceding it. So, Adam, any opinion on that one, if you've seen it as well?
I mean, unfortunately, I have not seen the penalty, but just on the game, I think that Tottenham, Mourinho really got it right. You viewers may have also been watching some of his All or Nothing episodes by Tottenham Hotspur. But I think he's really getting to know the side, getting to play well with them, and he's really doing well. And it was just domination by Tottenham. I think when the floodgates opened, it was just world class goal after world class goal, and the centre backs both had a very hard time dealing with an informed Heung-min Son, who currently leads the Golden Boot race, I do believe. Theo, do you want to take us on to the next game?
Yeah, Brighton on the away day beat Newcastle at Tyneside, and it was 3-0, despite a late red card to Yves Bissouma, and this was a nasty one, actually, no question about it. Attempted flick, though, no malicious in it, right in the face of new signing Jamal Lewis. That must have hurt. There was blood, unfortunately, and it was really bad. So, rightful red card, but no malicious intended. And here, full disclosure, if you haven't realized already, Adam is a Liverpool fan, and I am a Chelsea fan. So, this was an interesting one. Liverpool versus Chelsea, the game we were all waiting for, really, no matter what football team you support. Arguably one of the biggest games of the seasons. Champions versus the challengers, alongside Man City as well. Chelsea without Pulisic. We were expecting him to play, but he didn't. No Chilwell, no Silva, no Ziyech. Though we do expect Chilwell and Thiago Silva to play against, I think, Barnsley tomorrow in the EFL Cup third round. So, good encouragement for Chelsea there. Chelsea did lose 2-0 though, and it was the red card from Christensen. Also, although that's why I said me and Adam are Chelsea fans, we do probably have separate opinions on the red card given to Christensen on the stroke of halftime. Adam, your opinion on it before I give mine?
Well, I think both Mane and Salah have great tenacity making their runs in behind. Christensen lost Mane. He was well behind him. He had no chance, in my opinion, of getting across. However, where there is room for debate is whether Kepa will have got there. To be honest, some angles, so many things look so different from different angles. Some angles make me think Mane would have comfortably got there, but others make me think that actually Kepa had it all day long. Whether it was a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity, I mean, he dragged Mane down, so I think it was possibly. Theo, what do you think?
Yeah, the tackle you saw from Christensen is more oftenly seen on the rugby pitch. So that was a interesting one. Though I do think, obviously, while I was watching the game, I was shouting at the TV that it was no way a red card. Obviously, hints of bias in there, but you know what. I think the referee is neutral, and the referee probably gave the right decision in the end. Though I did think that Kepa did have a chance of making it. Obviously, if Kepa wouldn't have made it, then it's obviously a red card, clear denial of a goal scoring opportunity. Though Sadio Mane in the second half got 2, and one was horrendous from Kepa, and we'll get on to his future later. So next game, Leicester. Adam, Leicester versus Burnley.
It was a really thrilling game. returning into a competitive side. Narrowly missed out on Champions League football, and they really, really showed their class against Burnley, a side that historically been really tough to break down, and they've gone and put 4 against them with great class. I think that Burnley put up a good fight. They scored 2 goals in their own rights, but they were no match for Leicester's high-paced and technical game. What do you think, Theo?
Really, well played by Burnley, actually, I thought, in the early stages. Chris Wood getting the opener, and then Harvey Barnes, 10 minutes later, on the 20th minute mark, getting the equalizer. And we had to wait to the second half to get, our spree of goals. It was Eric Peters who broke the second half deadlock with an own goal, and then James Justin, with one of his first Leicester City goals, maybe even his first. I haven't quite seen the stats there. And then Dunn, he got a goal. And then, again, another unlikely hero, Pratt, different interpretations of pronunciation. But I'm going to say Pratt on the stroke of the end of the game, 10 minutes till time, and he got Leicester's fourth, and it's another good win for Leicester. So, we do move on. And next game is Aston Villa. Now, this is actually profit of their new signings here. Ezri Konsa getting the 1 goal, and Aston Villa beating Sheffield United. And I think this is really profit of their new signings, really making the difference here. They've done some really good business over the summer, all contributing really well. And again, we put Aston Villa bottom, I think, and we're going to have to definitely change that according to how they get on in the first half of the season. And then Wolves versus Man City. This is the last game of the weekend, and this was also a very entertaining game. Wolves v Man City finished 3-1. Kevin De Bruyne off the mark for Man City from a penalty. And then there was a goal from Phil Foden. This was lovely. A lovely, lovely goal, assisted by Raheem Sterling, but again, created by Kevin De Bruyne. And then there was a late goal from Gabriel Jesus, but before that, headed home from Raul Jimenez. Adam?
I mean, Man City, I could really envision Pep in his locker room saying, "You guys have lost both of the games against Wolverhampton, been taken apart by their pace and strength. It can't happen again." And this time, they really left Wolverhampton Wanderers no chance whatsoever. They did what they could, but they played the better team on the day and lost. Frankly, to put it straight, it wasn't close. They were just outclassed.
Yep.
And yeah, before we continue, I think that Kevin De Bruyne also, as you're saying, really deserves merit. He's continued the stellar end he had to last season. But we've concluded the Premier League results, and that takes us on to some transfer news. So there is a Chelsea story, Theo. So I'll let you take that one away.
Yep, and it's Chelsea. We talked about Kepa's blunders regularly now, but it is really disappointing from him. His future seems imminent, unfortunately. We rarely said that about players, but Mendy, Edouard Mendy from Rennes, is having his Chelsea medical right now, and if we do get any news that he's been signed, which is not impossible, probably will be signed today, maybe in the early hours of tomorrow, on Wednesday. So we'll keep you posted on that one. The fee will be about £22 million. Could rise to something like 25, but we'll have to wait and see once it's confirmed. It will be confirmed, that's what we can say, so likely to replace Kepa.
Yeah, I mean, I think that confidence is just it keeps going down. He's had quite costly errors in his first two games. Takes time to recover from that, and that is precious time that Chelsea do not have. For me, 22 million is a steal for Mendy. He's a good keeper who still has space to grow. And 22 million, like I said, is not much, but that takes us on to another French player, Ousmane Dembele. Man United have abandoned Sancho. He has said that he is happy. Borussia Dortmund. I don't blame him. I don't think there is any club currently that would be too appealing to him considering his circumstances. But he's just confirmed that. And so Man United have decided to go for Dembele instead. Could he pick up form under Solskjaer with the likes of Greenwood, Fernandes, Martial, who else? And Rashford, even, playing around him? I think it could benefit him greatly. Some young prospects still have space to grow just like him, but who have already established their names on the world stage. What do you think, Theo?
Yeah, and I think this is just a matter of one too many for Manchester United. I think they need to be looking at a new centre back. They are linked with Upamecano, but we're only gonna really talk about him once the story develops, maybe a bid or agree to deal or medical. So Upamecano is a prospect for them, but I mean they really should be improving in that defensive position. Ousmane Dembele and Sancho are really pointless deals. They've got front three with great talent and Donny van de Beek in behind all those three very talented players. So I really think this is just one too far. Sancho should stay at Dortmund, as should Ousmane Dembele stay at Barcelona. So we move on. And this is staying at Manchester United. And again, in my opinion, it's just simply one too many. Probably replacing Martial as one. And Everton want £80 million for Man United. Linked Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who scored 3 against West Brom in their 5-2 victory on Saturday afternoon. And that was an amazing performance, don't get me wrong. But 80 million is just too much. And if Man United play that fee, it's ludicrous. And if they want to pay any fee for a first-team striker, first-team forward, it's ludicrous as well. Getting a new forward who will be in the first team is ludicrous. They've got amazing attackers. Wealth of attackers. Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. I think, sorry to interrupt Theo, but I think that there's no point in getting more attackers when you, instead of trying to get more, who are just going to sit there, if you will, you should actually try and make your players as good as you can that you already have, instead of trying to splurge another 80 million. That could be that you could be buying a game-changing defender with. But that does conclude our podcast. But before you do, though, it should be noted that unfortunately the potential of fans returning to stadiums by October 1st, like we have seen in Lyon, I think, has been scrapped with the exponential rise of COVID-19 in the UK. Unfortunately, it could be like that according to Boris Johnson for maybe even another 6 months. We'll only have to wait and see. Theo, any last remarks?
Yeah, usually this is the part where we say like and subscribe, but no need for that. So, bye from Adam.
Goodbye from me.
And bye-bye from me, guys. Bye.